Now, emotions ran high in court as parents of the abducted youth cried, demanding to know the whereabouts of their kin after police defied orders to produce them in court. Following the defiance, the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, who also skipped court summons, risks contempt of court charges. The summons issued following a petition by the Law Society of Kenya required the IG's presence, but he instead sent representatives. And as Ben Kirui now reports, the court has directed Kanja to personally appear in court on Wednesday, the 8th of January 2025, to explain the whereabouts of the missing individuals.
So when I look around the courtyard, I cannot see my son. I thought he's here. Seriously, who took my son and where is my son?
A distraught father, Gerald Mwangi, the father of Billy Mwangi, he broke down in court as he pleaded for answers about his son's whereabouts.
We have taken a lot of medicine for blood pressure. Yeah, I have also developed blood pressure. Yes. At a certain point, it doesn't come down. I was even praying God that when I'm coming on the way, nifike, and nifika. But they cannot see my son. I cannot see guys who look like my son. But he's not here. Where is my son, Your Honor? Where is my son? Seriously, where have they taken my son?
Billy, a 24-year-old college student, was abducted on Saturday, December 21st by 4 hooded men at a barber shop in Embu town. Gerald recounted how his son was seized while waiting for a haircut, bundled into a waiting car by the men, who arrived in a station wagon and a double-cabin pickup truck.
4 guys, very strong guys, from the double-cabin car, popped out of the car when mishandled my son and threw him inside. Yes. And he asked them, who are you? Where are you taking me? Wakasema utajulia pele. Yes. Simu ikazimika wakaenda naye. Mpaka saa hii, Your Honor, I have no idea where my son is.
His hope of seeing his son or hearing his whereabouts fading after the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, who was scheduled to appear in court at 11 a.m. to disclose the whereabouts of 6 missing individuals, failed to appear. The IG instead sending Benson Kasioki, the Regional Criminal Investigations Officer, as his representative. The IG's absence and failure to produce the missing individuals angered lawyers representing the families of the 6 victims of abductions, who petitioned the court to hold him in contempt.
Let him appear in person, excuse himself, so that the court may have the discretion to either hear from him or from a third party.
The National Police Service, who was supposed to appear before you today, yes, have negated and disobeyed your orders.
The 6 individuals, Gideon Kibet, Ronnie Kiplangat, Bernard Kavuli, Peter Muteti, Billy Mwangi, and Steve Kavingo are yet to be seen since they were picked up in the case filed by the Law Society of Kenya, LSK, alongside the families. The court was told that the abductions were carried out by police, with LSK arguing that Kanja bears a personal responsibility for their disappearance. Justice Bahati Mwamuye has set Wednesday, January 8, 2025 as the hearing date, ordering the Inspector General to personally appear in court and produce the missing individuals. The year ends in pain and anguish for the families of the missing youth. The 7-day period granted by the court for the Inspector General of Police to appear and account for their whereabouts unbearably long. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Well, from that painful court session, let's take a quick break and explain our way back with much more in just a short while. Thank you for staying with Citizen TV. Let's cross over to the corridors of justice, where Busia Senator Okiya Omtata and 22 other demonstrators have been released on cash bail of 1,000 shillings each after being charged with causing disturbance and inciting Kenyans, among other allegations. Omtata and his colleagues were arrested in Nairobi during a protest against the alleged kidnapping of citizens by police. Willie Lusige has more.
Patriotic songs filled the air at the Milimani Law Courts as the 23 demonstrators arrived, having been arrested on Monday during a protest in the CBD of Nairobi. The protesters were arrested after demanding that the government stop the alleged kidnappings by government agencies. Led by Busia Senator Kio Mtata, the 23 suspects sang in unison. Even as the prosecutor made an application asking that the police be allowed to detain the demonstrators for 14 days to allow police to complete their investigations, including examining the suspects' mobile phones, defense lawyers strongly opposed the request.
The court shall not make an order for the remand in custody of a suspect under Section 1 unless there are compelling reasons for believing that the suspect shall not appear for trial. We conversely, inversely submit that there are compelling reasons to release the respondents on bond and or bail.
Wanting to hold them for 14 days is going against the spirit, the letter and the spirit of Constitution 2010.
The application is brought under sections that protect the rights of persons arrested, not gives the police the power to continue abusing the law.
Defense lawyers challenged the charges of causing disturbances and inciting Kenyans, arguing that the allegations were baseless and aimed at harassing the demonstrators.
If released, therefore, they will cause disharmony in the country. What disharmony? The country is already in disharmony.
The court had originally granted a bail of 50,000 Kenya shillings for each demonstrator. However, the demonstrators challenged this amount and were finally granted a cash bail of 1,000 shillings each.
We are all broke. Where is the cash bail?
I will review the cash bail to 1,000 each one of you.
The court, however, refused to order police to return the suspects' seized mobile phones. The case will be heard on January 21st. Even though the prosecution had requested the court to grant 14 days for the police to continue holding the suspects in custody for further investigations, the court has made it clear that every Kenyan has a right of his freedom through cash bail or bond. Willie Lusiga, Citizen TV, Nairobi at the Milimani Law Courts.
Now, the family of Elvis Langat, who was abducted alongside his friend Hilary Muge in Maimahiu a month ago, is pleading with the government to produce him dead or alive. Their concerns are heightened by his pre-existing heart condition. Speaking from their home in Chepkosa, that's in Bomet County, the family decried the indifference of government agencies in their desperate search for answers. Melita Oletenges has more.
Sorrow grips the home of Elvis Langat as they grapple with the void left by his disappearance. Elvis's mother cannot hold back her tears. Uncertainty and despair have appended their lives, with no word on whether he and his friend Hilary Muge are alive or dead. The family home is shrouded in sorrow as relatives cling to hope amid the anguish of unanswered questions since the abduction on the 5th of December.
Tuko na kilio kubwa kabisa. Hata tumefast. Tumesema nini president? Tufanye nini alafu uje tuko na shida. Tumeshika kitu ya damatuni. Tumeshika gorosio tumeenda barabara. Tumeshika nini hata sinende tufanye nini utusaidie.
Kuna huzuni sana. Kwa hiyo mtoto yangu sasa tunalia hata kwa nyumbani sisi hatulali.
The family members have combed police stations from DCI headquarters to Lari police station where Elvis's car was towed to, but they are yet to receive any concrete answers.
Na tukajaribu kuuliza nini maofisa wa serikali, hii gari ililetwa wapi, wao wa jamaa walikuwa hapo ndani. Wakasema hatujui, tulikuja tukarogota gari lakini hatujui mahali wako. Sasa serikali tunaomba atusaidie, kama hao jamaa wako hai aseme mahali wako.
Their relentless pursuit has drained their resources, leaving them emotionally and financially devastated.
Juu hatuna kitu, sahi tumemaliza ng'ombe, tumemaliza nini, kila kitu hakuna, mtusaidie.
The family revealed that Elvis was undergoing treatment before his abduction, raising fears about his fragile health and the lack of care.
ako na ugonjwa kabisa ya moyo, ako na moyo. Kila siku kwa mwezi anapelekwa Tenwek, anapelekwa Longisa, anapelekwa Eldoret. Sasa mtusaidie. Juzi tena alikuwa hata amepelekwa Kijape, akapewa barua tena waende Nairobi.
While police deny involvement in abductions, mounting pressure from affected families and human rights activists raises critical questions about the government's transparency and the safety of those abducted. Melita Oletinges, Citizen TV.
Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua now wants the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, to resign for allegedly unleashing violence on Kenyans. Speaking in Murang'a County, Gachagua claimed that the Inspector General has instructed the security agencies to disrupt his meetings. He now wants the IG to dissolve a special unit that he claims is being used to abduct Kenyans.
This is the only country in the world where police, instead of stopping violence, are the ones who are unleashing violence to innocent people. It is a shame. Is it not a shame? It's a shame, Bwana Douglas Kanja, the Inspector General of Police. The police world over, their work is to keep peace, is to make sure there is no violence, is to deal with violent people. But in Kenya, police are the ones who are unleashing violence to innocent people.
In a way, from that, 76% of Kenyans believe that the country is headed in the wrong direction. This is according to an end-of-year survey by research firm InfoTrack, which depicts an increasing level of hopelessness and pessimism for the year 2025. The survey shows that only 30% of Kenyans believe that 2025 will be a better year compared to a majority who are either uncertain or feel that it will be worse due to the deteriorating state of the economy, poor governance, high taxation, and loss of jobs. 83% of Kenyans feel that the economy will get worse compared to 48% who think it will improve next year. Safin Achieng Ouma has the details.
According to the findings of its latest survey, released on the last day of the year 2024, research firm InfoTrack revealed that while 64% of Kenyans feel that 2024 was generally a bad or terrible year, only 30% believe that 2025 will be better. If you compare the trends of the new year optimism from the year 2022, when the figure stood at 82%, results of the latest survey depicts that Kenyans are increasingly becoming pessimistic.
These are driven by economic crisis that are bedeviling Kenyans and the public displeasure that are rising due to the inability of most of the Kenyans to meet their basic needs.
A majority of those who cited a worse year ahead projected that the economy will get worse in 2025, a declining financial status, poor business performance, loss of jobs, high taxation, and bad leadership. 76% of Kenyans believe that the country is headed in the wrong direction, which is an overwhelming increase from the 18% which was recorded in December 2022, a few months after President William Ruto took office.
What the government need to do is to rebuild the trust, and this will translate into transparency, accountability, and of course managing the public engagement so that every single progress that they do is visible amongst the populace.
Women formed a majority of those who expressed their negativity about the year 2024, with 68% terming it a terrible year compared to their male counterparts. Despite their strong expression of disgruntlement with the current regime, the youth formed the majority of those who remain optimistic about the year 2025 at 47%. The survey was carried out on 20th of December 2024 through computer-assisted telephone interviews within a sample size that was distributed across the 47 counties. Safin Achieng Ouma, Citizen TV.
Let's talk about safety on the roads now. And 4 members of a family are nursing wounds after a panga-wielding robber attacked them along the southern bypass in Nairobi. The criminals are said to have set up stones and nails on the road that puncture car tires, forcing motorists to stop, oblivious of the dangers lurking behind. Our reporter Ode Francis reports on the plight of 2 families who were robbed and repeatedly assaulted along the dangerous road.
The southern bypass has become a hotspot for dangerous gangs who rob road users by attacking them with machetes, leaving them with life-threatening injuries. The latest incident involves this family, now nursing injuries at Nairobi Hospital after being attacked by a machete-wielding robber on December 28, 2024. All 4 were ambushed and severely injured by their assailants on this road, just a few kilometers from Ngong and Kikuyu roundabout. They were on their way to celebrate the new year with their families in Bomet.
Now I'm trying to drive off. 2 of my tires have been slashed, so the car is not moving like the way you'd expect it to move. So I'm trying to accelerate, and then this guy comes back. So he's on my window. He's like, "What is on my simu? Like, where are the phones that you had? Like, where are they?" We are telling him, "You have taken everything. Like, we left you with the car. Like, you took everything. What else do you want?" Then he's trying to stop Kuzimagari. He's trying to fight with me with the steering wheel, but I'm just trying to accelerate. So he just took the panga and he just slashed my face.
Citizen TV visited the area and spoke to this motorcyclist who says he has witnessed the gang robbing motorists many times on this stretch.
Sometimes anaweka mawe, gari inatoboka miguu ndio anafanya kazi yake.
So there was, I think, something like a rock that had misumari. So maybe I just saw something on the road and I tried to swerve. That's how side yangu ndo tires zilipasuka. But that stone was big, ingekuwa imekuja I think katikati ingeharibu kila kitu. So when I tried to swerve, my tires zikagonga the stone. So apparently it's a big stone that has misumari. Honestly,
long distance truck drivers have also not been spared.
Bypass. Kila saa kama gari inaharibika, waizi nukatakata madereva, mabateri inapotea, hakuna security ya kutosha.
Mimi niliona tu majamaa wamechomoka mara moja kwa msitu na kuanza kunishambulia. Juu mmoja alichomoa tu machete hapa, akaniwekelea moja ya hapa. Akaniambia leta simu. Kugeuka tu video niseme nduru ndio wakanifikishia hii panga. Hata hiyo kitu kuangalia kwangu, hiyo kitu hata hatu kumaliza dakika moja. Ni walichangamkia kunichangamkia haraka na wakadisappear kaingia kwa kichaka.
So far 3 suspects have been arrested and are assisting police officers at Karen Police Station. Ode Francis, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
And on our special feature tonight, we take you to Tana River County as we trace the aftermath of the boat that capsized in Konapunda area in April 2024, claiming over 7 lives and left many nursing injuries. It's close to 9 months since that tragedy. Nothing has been done to avert similar disasters from recurring. Safin Achieng Ouma brings you the story of families that lost their loved ones and those affected as they narrate their life after the tragic boat ride.
The 28th of April remains a day to remember in the year 2024, especially for residents of Tana River County. Many died in a tragic accident after a boat capsized while crossing a flooded area from Madogo to Garissa town. Close to 9 months later, Paul Maina takes us back to Konapunda, where it all happened. This is the place where he last saw his wife alive. He had just seen her off to go tend to their shop in Mororo, but she drowned as he watched helplessly from a distance minutes after the boat she had boarded left.
Nilishiwa na nguvu kwa sababu chenye niliona watu walikuwa nabebwa na maji wakienda pande ya maji na kimbilia. Na nikawa naogojea tu kwa sababu boti zilianza kuokoa watu wenye zingeweza kuokoa mpaka kitu saa saa 3 ya usiku, nikakaa hapo tu nikiongojea nipate kuona kama mke wangu atapaa kutolewa, lakini hakupatikana hiyo siku.
He stayed at the edge of the deadly waters as the search and rescue team burnt the midnight oil in search of bodies and survivors, only for his wife's body to be among those retrieved the following day. It was painful to receive her remains, he says.
Tulifanya kung'ang'ana kivyetu na tukaenda tukapumzisha mpendwa wetu. Na kutoka hapa hata mwenye alikuwa ameshikwa mwenye boat hatujui kama mambo yake ilienda aje, kwa sababu hatujaipata ripoti yoyote kutoka wakati huo.
It was double tragedy for Mzee Bure, who lost 2 daughters in that tragedy. He received a call around 7 p.m. on the fateful night.
Tulitoka huko saa 7 ya usiku. Hakuna report, hakuna chochote. Tukilala, kesho yake tuliamuka, tulienda huko, ni vile watu wanaokolewa, lakini hakuna watoto yangu walikuwa haikupatikana. Ile ya kwanza ilipatikana the following day saa 8 ile ilipata ya pili ya kwanza. Na ya pili ilipatikana baada ya siku 2.
This was the night Faith McKenna, who is one of the survivors, escaped death by a whisker. She was rushed to the hospital, terrified and in pain. Several months have passed since that tragic accident when our team visited Faith and her friend, and they vividly remember how their journey to Mororo was cut short by the ravaging floods.
Kitukaa saa 11 tukaingia kwa hiyo boat. Ingia boat tulikuwa watu wengi, tulikuwa na marafiki wangu, tukaenda sasa tukufika pale katikati kuna lori ilikuwa hapo. Boat ikapoteza barabara, ikagonga hiyo lori. Kugonga hiyo lori tukamwako kwa maji.
Wakati hiyo boat ilizama, tulikaa pale kwa maji sana, almost an hour before hata polisi wakuja ama nini. Juu mimi niliokolewa hapo kama nimemaliza kama 50 minutes. Nilikuwa hata nishachoka, nasikia kufreeze.
Tens of people drowned that day in one of the most painful scenes McKenna has ever witnessed.
Sisi tukaenda na maji, mimi mbele niliokolewa nikiwa na huko chini nikielekea Tanadiba.
Her life took a different turn, she says.
Mpaka saa hii mwili yangu haijawahi pata nguvu.
The Kenya Red Cross led a coordinated search, rescue and evacuation operation, retrieving 7 bodies, rescuing 28, while some people were reported missing to date.
Tuliweza kusaidia watu 28 walikuwa survivors wa hiyo incident, tukawachukua tukawapeleka hospitalini. Siku iliyofuata tulisaidia, tukaendelea retrieval of bodies, tulitoa miili kadhaa ambao walifariki.
The residents are accusing the government of dragging its feet on the plans to repair that section of the road.
Sasa nikipita hiyo barabara, kwa sababu ile uchungu mimi nasikia Mungu ndo anajua. Hata wakati mimi nabita asiangalie ubande na ubande. Ingawa mimi naendesha gari na kama mimi nafunga macho, naangalia tu mbele. Kwa sababu ile shimo watoto walianguka, mimi naona hapo mpaka sasa.
Kazi yangu iko pale inaitwa Mororo, na kila asubuhi ni lazima nipite hiyo mahali hiyo mkasa ilitokea. Na nikiona bado pako vile tu wakati ule hii ajali ilitokea hapajatengenezwa, inanipatia ile hisia wakati huo hata inakuwa kusahau hiyo maneno, inakuwa ngumu.
Hii dimbwi imekuwa hatari kwa maisha ya watu. Probox imeingia hapa, juzi kuna siku lori ya unga imekuja ikakuama hapo. Siku ingine lori ya maji ilipidi maji teremuka, hata matatu zile zinapita hii barabara. Watu wa mbonda hapa ni kuteka, tumeteka maisha ya wanadamu, iko kwa basket, ni anytime usikie chochote kimetokea.
The victims also decry the sluggish progress of getting justice and support from the government.
Raia ndio walikuwa wanashughulika tu, wanavuka boat nini, hakuna askari wanachunga, hakuna mtu anaangalia hiyo kitu anachukanga capacity ngapi, hakuna. Raia ndio walikuwa wanahangaika tu. Misho baka boat ilikuwa moja, ya pili ikiletwa, sasa ikiletwa hakuna mtu ambaye wanasema hiyo kitu kilomita kilo ngapi anabeba, hakuna. mpaka watoto waliangukiwa ndani ya maji.
Sasa hatujui kesi ilienda aje, hatukusaidika sababu kuna wenzetu walipotelea pale ndani, kuna wengine walituacha. Tulikaa karibu mwezi hatuna kitu ya kufanya na serikali walikuwa natukujia. Sasa tulikuwa nafikiria sisi ni usaidizi tunapewa. Hereo hatungeenda.
The plea by the area residents for now is that effective measures be put in place to avert a recurrence of such a disaster should it rain heavily again. Safin Achieng Oma, Citizen TV.
Well, we pray for peace upon the families that lost their loved ones in that tragedy. So, as the world prepares to bid farewell to the year 2024, countries across different time zones continue to usher in the new year 2025. Sydney, Australia, Hong Kong and New Zealand being among the first to usher in New Year 2025, marking the occasion with spectacular fireworks displays and celebrations. In New Zealand, fireworks were launched from Sky Tower, illuminating the city and entertaining thousands of spectators. In Sydney, Australia, renowned fireworks over the Sydney Harbour Bridge and Opera House attracted over 1 million of attendees who were entertained by performances from different artists. Continents like Asia, Africa, Europe and America are yet to join the rest of the world in ushering the new year 2025. Well, thanks for staying with us. Before we get into the Vuka Maka party, let's start off with some features here. The rollout of the highly touted Social Health Authority on the 1st of October was a culmination of a year of push and pull as the Ministry of Health made the transition. And most notably, it was also the realization of a campaign pledge by President William Ruto, who had championed universal health coverage in his manifesto. But as Mary Mwoki now reports, the rollout, which was hit employers by Kenyans, had courtesy of a 2.75% deduction on gross salaries, has been nothing short of chaotic, from running into legal headwinds to locking out the very patients it was designed to serve. Stakeholders in the health sector have passed a unanimous vote: suspend the implementation until all the T's have been crossed and every I has been dotted.
The introduction of the Social Health Authority was intended as a beacon of hope for universal health coverage, but contrary to those expectations, it has sparked a maelstrom of discontent among patients, healthcare providers and faith-based organizations. Its implementation has been marred by allegations of patient discrimination, financial mismanagement and total operational chaos.
Nimeambiwa nilipe pesa. They need cash. NHIF is not going to work anymore. And the percentage is 9,000. I need another 9,000 tomorrow, of which I don't have money right now. So, mimi nataka pesa, lakini pesa ndio sina.
Let them work on the share. Patients are suffering, and they have a right to be served.
Despite President William Ruto's constant defense of the increased premiums, which have particularly hit the employed hard and seen their payslips shrink further, it is imagined that hospitals are restricting access to SHA benefits to government employees, leaving many out of what was promised to be an inclusive health insurance system. A survey conducted by the Non-Communicable Disease Alliance of Kenya found that private hospitals, including Nairobi Hospital, Ruai Family Hospital and specialty clinics, restricted shift coverage to civil servants in specific job groups, forcing non-civil servant members, despite their fully paid-up memberships, to make cash payments for services that would be covered under their SHA subscriptions.
Public hospitals such as Kenyatta National Hospital and Kenyatta University Referral Hospital reported frequent systemic delays that left patients waiting for hours, restricted shift coverage to civil servants in specific job groups, leaving most NCD patients ineligible. Cancer patients, transplant recipients, and other high-risk groups are especially affected by these limitations.
In the face of this blatant discrimination, patients across Kenya continue to suffer the consequences as some facilities refuse to treat SHA-covered individuals due to payment uncertainties. This has left many, especially those with chronic conditions such as cancer or diabetes, in a precarious position, unable to receive timely or any treatment at all.
Any interruption in treatment and care, as we have seen since SHA was rolled out, is likely to have a deleterious effect on the patients and the individuals living with different non-communicable diseases. Cancer is not waiting for us to sort out, Chief.
Seemingly, patients are not the only ones feeling disenfranchised by the rollout of SHA. Faith-based hospitals, which have long been integral to Kenya's healthcare landscape, have also been vocal in their struggles with SHA's rollout. These institutions argue that the government has not clearly explained how SHA is going to pay off the substantial debts owed by the defunct NHIF. This has put additional strain on the already tense implementation process.
We worry about a transition with claims pending is because also there is a system change. And we've had experience in the past when where a system changes and some of the claims that were on process kind of become lost in the system. And it takes time before you can have them reconstructed, audited, verified. We've been following up, individual hospitals collectively as LBOs, and as of now, we feel there has been, it's in the about 6 billion that is still not cleared.
Financial backing for SHA is another contentious issue. Despite government assurances of robust funding, the reality on the ground tells a different story. The allocated budget falls significantly short of what is needed for a smooth transition and operation, leading to service disruptions and increased out-of-pocket expenses for patients, leaving many to question the sustainability of SHA. The scheme is divided into 3 levels: the primary healthcare fund, the critical care fund, and the emergency critical care fund, which were meant to kick in automatically to cushion members who exhausted the primary care fund. All 3 are grossly underfunded. The government allocated 4 billion for primary healthcare out of the 50 billion requested for the fund, which caters for 99% of health seekers. For the emergency and critical care fund, Treasury allocated 2 billion out of the required 75 billion. Stakeholders feel the transition was a bit rushed and the government should have enhanced NHIF to rid it of its perceived shortcomings, or at the very least taken the time to fine-tune all the logistical and technical details first before the rollout.
Give us a 2-year transition and allow Kenyans to register, to be educated. Even allow yourself to develop the portal, to develop a provider payment mechanism. So in our view, if we had taken 2 years from 2023, say October, and given a hard stop as October 2025, we would have had sufficient time to get ready, to prepare, and to do this better.
5 attempted. Definitely.
However, the health CS Dr. Deborah Barasa has, defended the rollout and operations of SHA, terming it as a silver bullet to Kenya's ailing healthcare system.
We are looking to ensure that we are leaving no one behind. So regarding the challenges that we have been facing, yes, we've been facing a lot of challenges, and we are engaging the community. We are looking at how can we continuously improve the system so that each one of us benefits. Because ultimately we want to build trust, we want to mitigate the resistance in the community and improve the communication and sensitization.
As the debate rages on, SHA's implementation remains a critical test for Kenya's healthcare policy. Stakeholders are calling for immediate reforms, transparency and accountability to salvage what they believe is a transformative step towards universal health coverage, and are of the opinion that failure to address these pressing issues will be the Waterloo for the vision of accessible and equitable healthcare for all Kenyans. Mary Moki, Citizen TV.
Thank you for staying with the Explainer. Time for some sporting action. Harambee Stars has intensified its preparations ahead of the inaugural Mapinduzi Cup to be held in Zanzibar from January 3rd, 2025. The squad of 38 local-based players under the watch of interim coach Francis Kimanzi has begun training. Stars will kick off their campaign against Burundi on Sunday 5th before facing host Zanzibar 2 days later. Kenya will use the tourney to prepare for the CHAN Championship to be co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania.
Jua kuitwa national team ni dream ya kila msemo anacheza ligi. So mimi nitafeel poa sana nikipata chance. So nitafanya chenye nafanya juu mimi najiamini.
So far we are still in the, you see the assessment is also a gradual process because every session players look different, yeah? Depending on the training objective. But what we have now out of the squad of 38, we have something to do there.
Yeah, that does it for the sporting action. And then my favorite part is coming up. That's why we have Joyce Omondi Wahiga here with us getting ready for the Vuka Maka party in just about 2 hours, 30 minutes, 2025. What are you looking forward to, Joyce?
I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great year. This has been such a tough year for so many people, politically, economically, socially. And tonight we're just here to celebrate the fact that we actually get to cross over into a brand new year, into 2025. It's a blessing even just to get to this point.
Good health, good vibes.
Everything.
And looking forward to 2025, right?
Everything.
So what do we expect on the other side?
We have a whole lineup of musicians joining us. But what's really special about this is all of the RMS stations are coming together. Citizen TV, Inoro TV, Ramogi TV. We're also going to be live on Citizen Digital and Viusasa. All of us just celebrating together tonight. It's going to be a really good time. And a little birdie tells me that Trevor has some pretty good dance moves. So I'm waiting to see you break it down over there.
That buddy lied to you.
We'll see.
Looking forward
we'll see
to
about that.
Absolutely looking forward to that. Vuka Maka, and by the way, this does it for me. Happy New Year 2025. And this is also your chance kutuma salamu.
Yes, Happy New Year to everybody. A special shout out to the fans of Rauka and Gospel Sunday. You can catch us there every Sunday from 6 to 9 a.m. A special shout out to my family as well. And my name is Joyce Omondi Wahiga. It's a pleasure. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to each of you. Let's see you at Vuka Maka Party 2024.
All right.
Nimeona Trevor amechapa hapo news vizuri sana, si ndio? Na yeye ni mtangazaji, si ndio? So Kenya people, wacha tuweke dance ya Trevor ndio tuone news anchor wana dancing aje, si ndio? In the meantime, use the hashtag Vuka Maka Party. Let's go. Wacha tuonyeshe ya Trevor. Twende kazi. DJ Gigi. Twende. Achi.